Hello everyone, welcome back to the American Nightmare. No wait, the Electric Nightmare. Batista. The American Nightmare, that's Cody Rhodes. This is Batista. Yeah, the electric car that has tires made of butter and brakes made of cheese. I've got all the R dollar upgrades on here. The first level of upgrades, and I can tell you the ones that for grip and brakes that do the R dollar upgrades do nothing. They do absolutely nothing to this car. So that makes this event a bit tough, because here we have an event where it's a race no off track. So got to keep it on track, and the way the car is in this game, at least, it doesn't stay on track very easily. So still looking for braking points. Still braking yesterday in order to go around a corner today. It wasn't too tough. I mean, it's Austria, it's not a tough track. I was doing a few things like using the other cars to, like hitting into the back of the other cars to slow down and that kind of thing. And yeah, we didn't have to win. I think I only had to finish 7th, but we had to get some overtakes in and that. So it's not too difficult. It took me, I think this was my 3rd try, because it just took me some time just to find the braking points, which are very, very early on. You know, I look for markers like that shadow on the track, and then I think this corner, I remember there's a little sign just there sticking out. That's a braking point. That may not have been that great. Could have braked a bit later, but still, also at the same time trying not to overdo it, and just managing the bots, making sure that in the later races the bots aren't going to be too difficult. So just doing what you need to do. You see, when I passed in there, I just gave him a little bit of a tap. I didn't want him to come back at me around these last 2 corners. If he does that, he can hit you, push you off the track, and then you fail. So wasn't wanting that to happen. So not too bad, 5th place. That's all we needed to do. And then here we have some, is this drafting here? Not too difficult at all, these stage 3 races. This is where I was having some IT issues with my computer, and I lost some footage. So I'm just checking to see that, yeah, this is the 2nd stage. Well, it's the 3rd stage, it's the 2nd race of the 3rd stage, let's put it that way. Like Boston, 3rd stage. Alright, so when you get an event like this that requires any kind of drafting or anything, which I don't think this actually is, I'm sure it said I have to do something for a certain amount of yards there, but it doesn't look like it. So we're just racing to win. But as I say, I was having some Windows 11 and NVIDIA driver issues. And I'd already moved the footage off my phone to the computer and kind of lost it. So I just couldn't get my computer to display anything on the screen. And I didn't think to back up the C drive before I just did a reinstall. So I thought I still had the footage on my phone, but I didn't. I deleted it to make space. Yeah, you see, we skipped a few races there. That's where I lost footage. Here we are on stage 4. We've jumped to stage 4. So sorry about that. I remember there being an average speed race that was a bit tricky. I don't remember what the other one was, but yeah, it's nothing too difficult. And here we have Magnus. Magnus has showed up. Magnus always shows up to try and spoil your day, but luckily we don't have any requirements here for staying on the track, so we can shortcut around and we can beat Magnus quite easily. Yeah, so I'm actually running Linux now, and been using it for a few days. The whole long weekend I was using it, and yeah, no problems so far, so good. Doing some of the editing on Linux as well. Really cool. Linux has come a long way. Certainly everything works on it, so I would say it's better than Windows. So yeah, it's worth checking out. I was using Linux Mint. If you're wondering about switching, it's not difficult to use. It's pretty much like a Windows interface now anyway. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. I would recommend it. Here comes Magnus at the end, but that's fine because we can always just skip the Vale chicane and end up just drawing him in a bit, drawing him back in at the end. Yeah, don't want to beat him by too much because that'll affect our bot difficulty going forward. Right, what do we have to do next? Yeah. So here we go again with the no off track, and that's tricky because Silverstone has got corners and they're fast corners, and if you don't take the corners fast, you're not going to achieve your goal. So, but I want to show you this. Look at the tire dig. If this is not tire management and tire saving, I don't know what is. But the tires are going down. Look at this. They're 77% now. I'm doing 80 kilometers an hour. You know, those Pirelli P0s are really crappy tires. All car manufacturers should stop using them. According to Real Racing. Yeah, this is just an event where it's just to, you know, this is just to frustrate you and irritate you, and I don't know why they do that. Why make a game that's not fun? It's just irritating and frustrating. Why do that? You know, it's a bit of a silly thing to do, to have, you know, have a goal where they tell you manage your tires, but then when you do manage your tires, it has no effect. So there's no way you can actually stop these tires from degrading at the rate that they degrade. That's the rate. It's not a wear-based thing. It's a time-based thing. There's a certain amount of time that the tires will go from 100% to 0. And since you start on like 95%, because from the green light, the tires are already degraded to like 95%. So it's very, very, it's difficult, but it's made intentionally difficult for no apparent reason, just to be difficult. You know, it would be more fun if there was like, you know, don't slide the car, don't slam on the brakes, like lift off the accelerator and brake, and then come off the brake, let the car go around the corner, then accelerate smoothly out of the corner. You know, manage your tires. That would be more fun, but more interesting, more, it would just be better in every single way. But the devs don't want to do that. They're too lazy to do that kind of thing, so they just set it on a timer. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, I got through it in the end. Bit of a silly thing, that. This one, I think, what is this one? Yeah, you see, I didn't get the footage at the beginning. This one must have taken me a few tries. Oh yes, it's all coming back to me now. This was a mission. That car just at the exit of of the last corner. It's just in the wrong spot. This is another one with no off track. I think there's no damage. Oh, went off track. There's a little bit of leeway. Still, they'll probably take that out of the game soon. It says don't go off the track, but they give you a little. There's always been a little bit of leeway in it. You can go off like for a second or so. So again, I'm slamming into the cars in front to try and just slow the car down. The best way to slow the car down is by driving with all four wheels off track, but when you've got no off track, that doesn't work. And this race tricked me as well. It says you've got to be, I think it's 7th place at the end of the first lap and finish in 5th place. So, but there's also the average speed to consider. So I kept on having this problem, and I wasn't making average speed, which is why I kept on having to retry. Because I kept on having this problem. I come across these guys and they slowed me down. And so I decided I'll just nudge him, and I thought, oh well, I've lost. Because I'm in 6th place across the line. But it didn't fail me there. So you don't have to be in 7th place. You can be, I think you can be in at least 7th place. And this guy, he was irritating me, so I got rid of him. Normally I wouldn't do that, but I needed to keep average speed up, and with this car in my way, bumping me, and I just didn't want him to nudge me into a slide in the corner. Lose average speed, because that was the, I mean, getting to, you'll see I finished this race in 4th place. Getting to the positions is no problem. It's the average speed is the problem. And it's getting the average speed is also, it's not a problem. It's just the other cars in the way. You see here again, I've come across a car that's kind of maybe going to hold me up. Got by him okay. But that average speed is still low, because you're going to lose a lot of average speed here through Stowe. You have to brake in this car for Stowe, and quite a lot more than you'd expect. And then the Vale chicane, neat and tidy through there. So it slows you down. So you've got to have more than just the average speed going into that section, and then you can screw it up at the end, because I don't know why the car just slides for no reason. But managed to get through it. And then, yeah, this is just a speed snap, and this is interesting. I wanted to show you here, every car has the same speed. So, again, just lazy from the devs there. Let's just give every car the same speed, so you have to be, there's finish first or finish last in this event, because every car has the same speed. But yes, pretty easy, and that's stage 4 done. And we'll be going into stage 5, which was a complete mess and a complete disaster. So check back for the next video, all about the disaster that was stage 5 for me. Alright guys, until then, have a good time all the time. Cheers.